Hey everyone, Tony Winston here for Classical Piano Workshop, and I'm going to be working in Suzuki Book 3. We're doing the Clementi Sonatina, that's the first one in the book, the second movement, Andante, in the key of F. And the things I'm going to be covering is the trills and three different ways that you could do the trill. And there are more, but I'll just cover those three. And then a few of the little problems that maybe students might have putting hands together on this piece. So it starts off like this, and it certainly seems like some pedal would be okay. And that is the hardest way to do the trill right there, of the three ways that I'm going to show you. And if you see the marking of a trill, and the note, for instance, in this case is G, you usually will start the trill a note above on the A, especially if it's in a pretty old piece. Now, when you get into Chopin and some of the later composers, there's a lot of flexibility on how you could do this. But let's start it right here on A, and notice the left hand has 3/8 notes there, and what I'm going to do is put 4 notes of the trill to every note of the left hand. So like this, then this one, then here, and you see the little grace notes there at the end. They're not really grace notes. It just shows you how they want you to terminate the trill. So again, in other words, it shows you how to end the trill. So, and notice I'm going right to the next line there. And it's a good idea to, whether you're using 5 or 4 down here, it doesn't matter. But when you get down here to measure 4, use your 4th finger here so you can, play smoothly here. So once again, the trill. Now, some really young children, I say 6 and 7, don't have the muscular control or whatever it is that controls your fingers to move your fingers fast enough. Some do, some don't. It all comes in time. So anybody can do this, but really young kids, sometimes I have a hard time. So there are easier trills, like you can do 2 notes for each trill. Like that, and that's suggested at the bottom of the page. Or you can use a triplet like this. And I like that one because it starts on the note. It doesn't start the note above like many trills do. It starts right on the note. So in a way, it kind of preserves the melody. The melody without a trill is, right? And so that trill preserves that melody. Sorry. And I like it a lot. So my way of doing the trill is a good deal faster, and if you're taking the piece at a pretty good clip, like about this fast, then each one of those 8th notes has to have 4 notes of the trill. So listen. It's fast, but it sounds like a trill. The slower ones really don't. So if your student can handle that fast trill, that'd be fun to do. Otherwise, use one of the suggestions at the bottom of the page. So the sheet music is down in the description, and if you'd like to download it, you just click on the link and the music will appear, and then you just download it or print it out. There's nothing to, you don't have to give your name or anything like that. Okay, let's go on with the piece. We've done the trill. And in this measure, you want to pass the melody to the right hand like this. Make sure it's smooth right here. Don't hold this one down and keep going up like that. Make it just like one hand was playing it. A lot of students ask, why do this fingering 5, 4, 5? Because you can really connect the notes that way without the pedal. See? You can do it with one finger, but it's harder to control. Like, I didn't mean for that last note to be quite as loud as it was. And if I do it this way, I can make those notes exactly how I want them. And how I want them is kind of like loud, medium, soft. Right there, put the 16th note in between the first pattern and the second pattern, like this. You could put it exactly in the middle, like 1, 2, 3, and 1, or you could put it slightly closer to the first, to the A here, like this. That's more mathematically correct, but I think musically it sounds better to stick it right in between. And I believe, this music is pretty old, and a lot of times the composers would write it that way, and that's what they intended. Now, shh. So going back to measure 9, you see it says crescendo. So when you see crescendo, don't think loud, think soft, because you got to start soft in order to do a crescendo. So very softly, and then louder. Use your 1 there is the best, and then use it like a finger pinch to get to 4 here in the left hand. Another finger pinch because you're on 4. You want to put your 2 on F. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Notice I'm counting the 8th notes there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Instead of 2 and 3 and. It doesn't matter how you count it, but what's important is in the next measure that you keep counting. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or if you prefer, 1 and 2 and 3 and I'll tell you, every student rushes that measure and it drives piano teachers crazy. So don't do it. All right, next part, and I call this the B section, and it's very beautiful. Again, connecting the notes with different fingers is the easiest way to connect them. And there's some nice dynamics. Start soft, build it up, and back down again. And now we're back to, well, we could call it the A section, but it's quite a bit different here. Now, so a few things in this part. So at measure 13, I think it is, no, 15, you're on B flat here. F natural. You just had a bunch of F sharp, so it's really easy to make that mistake, but that's an F natural right there. And then here, measure 16. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You've got to get right back up there and play those notes. And, we've already done this, right, once. So we're going to do it again. And I always like to make that a little bit louder because it's like telling somebody the same thing twice. The second time you've got to give them more emphasis or they're not listening to you. So just check it out. And also make sure that you connect there. There's a phrase line there, so you want to keep those connected. not like that. Okay, now to the next part, and the final part starts off just like the beginning. Okay, so again the trill, so very similar to before. E flat is the note, so we start the trill on F. All right, and if you're up to tempo, it's more like... like that. So, like I say, if you have a younger student, or maybe you're only 7 years old yourself and watching this video, don't worry if you can't do it that fast. You'll learn to do it eventually, but do one of the slower trills like this. Okay, last part usually gives students a lot of trouble. I don't know why, but you know, maybe it's the end of the song, and by the time we've gotten here, we've used up most of our brain power or something, but here it is. Now the book says 4, but you could reach up there with 1 and then like do a finger pinch to 4 like that, maybe change it to 5 next or something. I think that would be better, but let's do the book fingering. Oops, sorry, let me do it again. You know, this is a really beautiful piece, and I would say musically, it's pretty advanced for young students. It's very kind of sophisticated. So I hope you enjoy learning this piece, and if you found this video helpful, useful, amusing, or anything else positive, please give me a thumbs up, and I do lots of these videos, so please subscribe. Thanks very much. See you next time.